almost lost my best friend and embarrassed myself in a pretend relationship. Hey everyone, it's Sierra. As I began recounting my story, I couldn't help but feel a wave of nostalgia wash over me. Growing up, it was just me and my mom. My mom is a nurse at a children's hospital, working tirelessly to help those in need. She's my hero, really, and I've always admired her strength and dedication. But, as you can imagine, being a single mom and working those odd hours wasn't easy for either of us. I remember when I was younger, I used to stay with her at the hospital during her long shifts. She'd set up a small bed for me in an empty room, and that's where I'd spend most of my evenings after school. It wasn't the most glamorous setup, but it was all we could afford at the time. "Mom, why can't we have nice things like the kids at the hospital?" I'd ask, my little heart aching with pity. I couldn't help but feel envious of the wealthy children at the hospital. They had the latest toys and gadgets or super cool video games, and their parents showered them with lavish gifts for special occasions like Christmas. While I had hand-me-downs from my mom's co-workers or from the kids' parents when they got discharged from the hospital. But you know what? I learned to appreciate those hand-me-downs because they came with a story, and they were given to me with love. Believe me, I really do. Now that I think about it, I wouldn't trade my childhood for anything. It taught me the value of love, kindness, and hard work. And, in a way, it prepared me for the wild ride that was about to come. It was a few days before Christmas, and the hospital was buzzing with holiday cheer. Decorations filled the halls, and there was a palpable sense of excitement in the air. But this is the most frustrating holiday for me. As I watched the wealthy children receive their expensive presents, I couldn't help but feel envy with those privileged kids. And then a little mischievous spark ignited within me. One day, while talking with some of the kids in the playroom, I decided to start a rumor. "Hey, have you guys heard about the ghost that haunts this hospital?" I asked with a sly grin. One of the kids looked at me wide-eyed. "What ghost?" "Well," I began, spinning my tale, "I've heard that on Christmas Eve, a ghost targets children with expensive gifts. It's said that this ghost is envious and loves to frighten kids who have everything they could ever want." The children exchanged nervous glances, but they couldn't resist asking more questions. I took it as my cue to continue. "It's said that if you listen carefully at night, you can hear the ghost whispering your name, its cold breath on your neck, and its icy fingers tapping on your window." That night, I decided to take my prank one step further. I crept into the rooms of the children who had received the most expensive gifts, making eerie noises and causing shadows to dance across the walls. My prank worked better than I had anticipated. The children were terrified, believing that the ghost I had mentioned was haunting them. In their panic, they threw out their expensive gifts and demanded to be moved to different rooms. The following day, chaos erupted in the hospital. Parents were furious, and the staff was overwhelmed. It wasn't long before my mom found out what I had done. She was called into her supervisor's office and was nearly fired for my actions. My heart sank as I watched her walk out of the office, her face flushed with anger and disappointment. "Sierra, what were you thinking?" she asked, her voice trembling with frustration. "Your prank nearly cost me my job, and it caused so much distress for those children and their families." I hung my head in shame, realizing the full extent of the consequences of my actions. "I'm sorry, Mom," I whispered. "I just wanted to. I don't know. I didn't think it would go this far." My mom sighed, her anger subsiding as she looked at me with a mix of sadness and understanding. "Sierra, I know life isn't always easy, and it's natural to feel envious of others. But causing pain and fear in others is never the solution. I hope you've learned something from this." I nodded, tears filling my eyes. "I promise, Mom." I'll never do something like that again. You know that life had a way of teaching us lessons that we would never forget. And, as I would soon find out, there were more surprises and challenges waiting for me down the road. As the years passed, I grew into a teenager, and the idea that wealth equals happiness and attention became deeply ingrained in me. I became determined to be part of the popular crowd at school, convinced that it would finally make me feel complete. One day, as I sat in the school cafeteria, I spotted Jenna, the cheer captain and most popular girl in school. She was surrounded by her friends, laughing and chatting effortlessly. I knew she was the key to joining the exclusive circle of popular kids. I decided to approach her during study hall. "Hey, Jenna," I said, trying to sound casual. "I noticed you were struggling with your homework earlier. I could help you if you want." Jenna looked at me skeptically, sizing me up. "Really? What's in it for you?" I hesitated for a moment, not wanting to reveal my true intentions. I know how tough school can be, and I thought I could lend a hand. Plus, I've heard you're great at organizing events, and I'd love to learn more about that." Jenna raised an eyebrow but seemed to be considering my offer. "Fine," she finally agreed. "Let's meet at the library after school." From that day on, I became Jenna's unofficial homework helper. At first, our relationship was purely transactional. However, as time went on, I started to notice Jenna's shallow and self-absorbed nature. "Ugh, Sierra, I don't know how you do it," Jenna said one day as we worked on a history assignment. "Living without all the things I have. I can't even imagine." Her words stung, but I didn't let it show. I was determined to be part of the popular crowd, even if it meant enduring Jenna's thoughtless comments. As I continued to help Jenna and ingratiate myself with her friends, I slowly gained entry into the popular group. But the more time I spent with them, the more I realized how empty and superficial their lives were. They were obsessed with their appearances and material possessions, always looking for the next best thing to maintain their social status. Sometimes, I even questioned my own priorities and values, wondering if chasing popularity was worth sacrificing my integrity and authenticity. But everything was right in front of me and I couldn't think much about it. As I continued to help Jenna with her homework and assist her friends with their various needs, I slowly gained acceptance into their exclusive group. I found myself running errands for them, picking up their lunch orders, and always being the one they called when they needed a favor. One afternoon, while running an errand for Jenna, I bumped into my best friend, Maya. "Sierra, what are you doing?" she asked, eyeing the shopping bags in my hands. "Just helping Jenna and her friends with some stuff," I replied casually, trying to downplay the situation. Maya frowned. "You're always running around for them. Do you really think they're your friends? It seems like they're just using you." "I don't know, Maya," I said defensively. "I'm finally part of the popular crowd." "Isn't that what I've always wanted?" Maya shook her head. "It doesn't matter if they're popular, Sierra. What matters is if they're true friends. And from what I've seen, they're far from it." Despite Maya's warning, I couldn't bring myself to abandon my newfound social status. I was eager to prove her wrong and show her that I could be happy with the popular kids. As the weeks went by, my relationship with Maya began to fade, and I found myself spending more and more time with Jenna and her friends. But the more I immersed myself in their world, the more I realized how shallow and boring it was. I began to miss the genuine connection and support that Maya had always provided. As I stood on the outside looking in, I couldn't help but wonder if I had made a huge mistake by choosing popularity over real friendship. One fateful day, a new student named Ethan joined our school. To everyone's surprise, Ethan was a well-known singer who had decided to finish his high school education while balancing his music career. Jenna and her friends immediately tried to befriend him, hoping to bask in his fame. One afternoon after school, I saw Ethan walking absent-mindedly towards the street, not noticing the speeding car heading his way. Without thinking, I dashed forward and pulled him back just in time, saving his life. Ethan was incredibly grateful. "Thank you, Sierra. You saved me. I owe you big time." "It's no big deal," I said, trying to brush it off. "I'm just glad you're okay." As a token of his appreciation, Ethan invited me to sit with him and his friends during lunch the next day. I hesitated, glancing at Jenna's group, but ultimately decided to take him up on his offer. I invited Maya to join us as well, hoping to mend our strained friendship. The following day, we sat with Ethan and his friends, enjoying a pleasant conversation and laughing at his funny stories. Jenna and her friends watched us from afar, clearly annoyed that I had seemingly abandoned them for a more popular crowd. During lunch, Jenna approached our table, her eyes fixed on Ethan. "Hey, Ethan," she said sweetly. "Do you want to come sit with us? We've got some extra space." Ethan glanced at Jenna and then back at Maya and me. "Thanks for the offer, Jenna, but I'm actually enjoying my time here with Sierra and Maya." "You're welcome to join us if you'd like." Jenna's smile faltered, and she shot a dirty look at Maya. "No thanks," she said icily before stalking back to her table. As the days went by, tensions between Jenna and Maya grew. It became clear that my pursuit of popularity had not only affected my friendship with Maya, but it had also stirred up conflict among my peers. I started to question whether the sacrifices I had made were worth it, and if the happiness I sought could truly be found in the superficial world of popularity. A few weeks after Ethan had joined our school, photos of us hanging out together started to circulate on social media, with captions and comments labeling us as a couple. Although we were just friends, the rumors kept spreading. We laughed it off at first, but then Ethan approached me with a proposal. "Hey Sierra, I have a favor to ask you," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "You see, my ex-girlfriend is coming to town for a show, and she's been really nasty since we broke up. I was wondering if you could pretend to be my girlfriend for a few days just to make her jealous. I know it's a lot to ask, but it would mean a lot to me." I hesitated, unsure of how to respond. "Ethan, I don't know. It feels wrong to pretend, and what if it affects our friendship?" Ethan looked at me with pleading eyes. "Please, Sierra. I promise nothing will change between us. We'll just act like a couple in public and then go back to being friends. I really need your help." I sighed, finally giving in. "All right, Ethan. I'll do it. But just for a few days, okay?" Ethan hugged me in gratitude. "Thank you so much, Sierra. I owe you one." When I told Maya about the plan, she was less than thrilled. "Sierra, this is a bad idea. You're just setting yourself up for heartache. You know you have feelings for Ethan, and pretending to be his girlfriend won't make him fall for you." I brushed off her concerns, convincing myself that it was just a harmless charade. As the days went by, Ethan and I played our roles perfectly, holding hands and sharing sweet moments in public. But with each passing day, my feelings for Ethan grew stronger, and I didn't even realize that I had slowly fallen for him. As Ethan and I continued our pretend relationship, I began to enjoy the newfound popularity that came with it. People I barely knew started approaching me, eager to be my friend and get close to Ethan. While I loved the attention, I didn't realize that it was causing me to lose touch with the one person who mattered most, Maya. One day, Maya confronted me. "Sierra, we need to talk. I feel like ever since you started hanging out with Ethan and pretending to be his girlfriend, we've drifted apart." I hardly see you anymore, and when I do, you're always busy with your new friends. I miss my best friend. I felt a pang of guilt but quickly brushed it off. Maya, come on. You're overreacting. It's not like I don't want to spend time with you. It's just that things are really hectic right now, and I have new responsibilities. Maya stared at me, hurt evident in her eyes. I see. So, these new friends and your fake relationship are more important than our friendship? I didn't know what to say, and in that moment of silence, Maya knew my answer. She shook her head, tears welling up in her eyes. I thought I knew you, Sierra. But it looks like I was wrong. She turned and walked away, leaving our friendship in tatters. As the days went by, I became more and more entwined in the world of Ethan and his friends, but I couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that came with losing Maya. And to make matters worse, my feelings for Ethan had evolved into something genuine. I knew I had to tell him the truth, but I feared that revealing my feelings would only drive him away and leave me with nothing. As I faced the consequences of my newfound fame, I couldn't help but wonder if it was all worth it. Had I sacrificed the most important friendship in my life for a fleeting taste of popularity and a pretend relationship that was doomed from the start? The pretend relationship between me and Ethan had been going on for some time now. And things were getting pretty heated as Ethan invited me to one of his concerts. At first I declined, but the temptations of knowing the feeling of people praising me had won over and I agreed. The day of Ethan's concert finally arrived, and the excitement was palpable. I had no idea that my life was about to take a dramatic turn for the worse. As the concert was in full swing, Ethan spotted me in the crowd and gestured for me to join him on stage. My heart raced, and I hesitated for a moment before letting the security guards guide me up to where Ethan was performing. Ethan smiled at me and whispered into my ear, "Just go with it, okay?" He then proceeded to serenade me in front of thousands of screaming fans. The spotlight was on me, and I suddenly felt the weight of all those eyes watching my every move. I froze, unable to do anything but stand there awkwardly. The crowd quickly picked up on my discomfort and started laughing. Whispers and jeers echoed through the venue, and I could feel my face turn beet red. In an instant, I had become the laughingstock of the entire concert. After the show, I confronted Ethan, my emotions boiling over. What was that all about? You didn't tell me you were going to bring me on stage. You made me look like a fool in front of everyone. Ethan seemed taken aback by my reaction. I thought it would be fun, Sierra. I didn't mean to embarrass you. Well, it wasn't fun. I snapped, tears streaming down my face. I can't do this anymore, Ethan. This pretend relationship is over. As I stormed away from Ethan, I didn't realize that our argument had been caught on camera. The media quickly got hold of the footage, and my embarrassment went from bad to worse. Reporters hounded me at school, trying to get a scoop on my failed relationship with Ethan. The constant harassment only served to worsen my emotional state, making me feel more isolated and alone than ever before. One day, as I was leaving school, a group of reporters cornered me, bombarding me with questions about Ethan and the concert incident. I felt trapped and overwhelmed, but just as I was about to break down, Maya appeared by my side. "Leave her alone," Maya shouted, shielding me from the reporters. "Can't you see she's had enough?" With Maya's help, we managed to escape the media circus. As we sat in the park, catching our breath, Maya broke the silence. "I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, Sierra. I should have been a better friend." "No, Maya, I'm the one who should be sorry," I replied, tears welling up in my eyes. "I got so caught up in my own problems that I didn't realize you were going through a tough time too." Maya hesitated before opening up to me about her parents' divorce. "It's been really hard, Sierra. I felt so alone, and I needed you. I'm so sorry, Maya, I said, hugging her tightly. From now on, I promise to be there for you, no matter what. We spent the rest of the afternoon talking, catching up on each other's lives, and making plans for the future. We vowed to prioritize our friendship and focus on our futures, leaving the drama and heartache of the past behind us. A few weeks had passed since the concert fiasco, and I was spending time with my mom at the hospital, helping her out with her tasks. As I was walking down the hallway, I heard someone call my name. To my surprise, it was Ethan. Sierra, wait, he said, catching his breath. I've been searching for you. I have something I need to tell you. I crossed my arms, hesitating. What is it, Ethan? Another pretend relationship so you can embarrass me again? He looked at me with sincerity in his eyes. I love you, Sierra. I know our relationship started as a fake one, but my feelings for you are real. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But what about your ex, Ethan? He shook his head. I've moved on, Sierra. And I've realized that what I feel for you is genuine. I want to give us a real chance, but only if you're willing to. After a moment of contemplation, I responded, I've developed feelings for you too, Ethan, but things have to be different this time. We need honesty and open communication. Ethan smiled, reaching for my hand. Absolutely, Sierra. I promise to be honest with you, and I hope you'll do the same. With that, we decided to give our relationship a real shot, knowing that the foundation of trust and communication we were building would be crucial for our future together.